Your meta ads aren't working because your ads are too short and it doesn't know what to do with your content. That's like the big message that I want to get across here, because people are not understanding this. And with the Andromeda update, things are different now. They're catching up with YouTube and TikTok with how they deliver their ads, and things are changing. So if you've got ads that used to convert and they don't convert anymore, or your ads never converted and you're not sure why, it has to do with understanding that Meta literally optimizes based on signals, okay? So you've got Meta, the all-seeing Lord Meta, looking at everything that people are watching, and it's measuring every single thing that people are doing online, okay? It's literally following people around the internet as best as it can. Attribution's kind of broken now because of the privacy updates, but it's piecing things together between the pixel and the engagement on the platforms, right? Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. So what is it looking for? Well, as an algorithm, its job is to show people the right content to the right people at the right time. So that means that when you scroll through your feed, it's pretty much showing you stuff that it knows that you will be interested in, okay? So understand that part because it's really important. It's going to show people who are interested in the specific type of content at the right time, in the right order too, right? It might show different pieces of content out of sync. So if you've ever started a newer Instagram account, you would notice this, that you will start seeing in your feed, you might only have a couple of reels, but you will see that the dates on those pieces of content that it's showing you is a little older. I've noticed this with a new account that I started, where it was literally showing me content from November and now we're in February. So it's something to keep in mind when you're creating your content, because we have to generate ads that are going to send a clear signal to the AI so that it knows who to show it to, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing. So how do we send a strong signal to Meta? Well, there's a bunch of different ways that we can do this, right? And through the basic engagement stuff, right? We could do it through likes, sorry for my crummy handwriting, comments, right? Sharing. But what a lot of people struggle with is they don't get a lot of this kind of engagement when they're just getting started. It's hard to get those likes. It's hard to get those comments unless you're giving a call to action within your ad to literally drop a comment, drop a line, and I'll send you something, or something of that nature. You have to give people a reason to actually comment, right? Sharing, etc. Now, these are all fine metrics. They're fine and dandy. But what seems to dominate the most, and this is what's pretty cool, is that it actually spans not just, it's not just a great metric, but it works across different devices really well. With that attribution thing I mentioned before, because things are changing and people might be on a tablet and then on their computer and then on the phone and then, switching all over the place, it's hard to attribute things the same way that they used to. If you do all of this with watch time, it is really good because there's no privacy needed for watch time. You can measure how long somebody's watching a video basically on any platform, and there's really no privacy thing relating to that, right? So if you're in YouTube, YouTube knows how much you've watched. If you're on Instagram, Instagram knows how much you've watched. And that's really the signal that we're sending to the almighty Lord Meta up here, right? So we're showing Meta what our ideal client would look for, right? So we have to reverse engineer our thinking a bit. Now, there's no wrong way or right way to run ads. It just isn't. People are always asking, campaign budget, ad set budget, what buttons do I press? The buttons don't matter because all that's going to change like tomorrow, right? That Meta could decide to take away all of your choices and you can just upload content if they wanted to, right? Same with Google. This stuff is a fluid thing. It's always going to be changing. There's always going to be that next algorithm update. The principle of advertising is more important here, because if you can understand the principles behind how ads work in general, then it doesn't matter what platform you want to advertise on. It could be LinkedIn if you wanted to. I don't recommend it, but it really doesn't matter where you advertise, because if you understand the principle of it, and part of that is understanding that people take, Google did a study, and Google study, that's an O, Google study shows that people consume about 7 hours of content on 11 different touch points. So that means 11 different ways that they see your content. So that could be organic, ad, podcast, video, photos, whatever, but 11 touch points on 4 platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or a blog, wherever, right? But the average person has taken a longer route to make a purchase, to make a decision on things, right? And I see this within my own family, where we are looking for things like reviews. People have been burned in the past. It's very easy to make money online now with AI content. This is why Andromeda exists. This is why they rebuilt the entire delivery system, was literally for this reason, because too many people are uploading garbage content and they don't know what to do with it because they don't know who to show it to. So it overwhelmed the system, and they had to recreate this entire system to filter out the junk. So how do you filter out the junk? You start looking at what people are actually watching. That's why watch time is so important, right? So people are looking at reviews. They want to hear testimonials, right? They want to see the proof, the numbers. XYZ was able to save $50 or $1,000, right? People want to see a demonstration of the product in use. If it's a physical product, they might want to actually see it being used. If it's a service-based thing, they might just want to hear from other people that have used it, or they might want to see the numbers behind it, different things like that, or just how the system works in general. All that stuff works. But this is going to encompass your 7 hours of content that people need. And when you come at it from this direction, it's a much more efficient way to advertise, because instead of spending $50 a day or $100 a day just praying and hoping that it converts, what we're doing is it's like a war of attrition. Okay, you ever hear that term? It's like literally like we're building up our data set of people. Picture this, just a list of people that are watching our ads, right? This is an invisible list. We can't see who's on it, but the algorithm knows who's watching it, okay? So we're taking this invisible list of people, and then we're showing them relevant content around the topic, okay? That's what works, because it takes time for people to make a decision. I want to talk a little bit about the bidding that goes with this, because it all is one encompassing thing, okay? When you do this kind of strategy, you're not bidding on the same people that everybody else is bidding on. Why? Well, because as shown with this invisible list, right, where we're gathering watch time of people, that is a unique audience that we're creating. We're not just showing our content to people that are interested in cars or law firms or whatever. We're using this to actually generate our own list of interested people. And when you do that, what you end up with is your own subset of people that are going to be consuming this content. So guess what? The price goes way down. So instead of focusing on the 2 to 3% that people are ready to buy today. That's a statistic. You can go look it up yourself. 2 to 3% are ready to buy today. If you looked at the daily users of YouTube, I think it's like 140 or 200 million people a day. It kind of works out to be like 200,000 or 250,000 people per day are ready to buy something right now. So that's 250,000 purchases occurring today on Instagram in the US. Okay, that's not a lot of people if you think about it. So that means that everybody's bidding on this 2 to 3%. They're paying an exorbitant amount of money because they're trying to go after that small audience that's ready to buy right now. Remember, Andromeda knows who's ready to buy right now. That's why they're keeping an eye on everything. So because they have that data and they know who's actually ready to make a purchase, the bid cost on that goes sky high because these are people that are in demand. But what about the 97 to 98% that are not ready to buy? Well, does that mean that these people are bad clientele? Are they bad leads? Are they non-ideal customers? Well, not necessarily. I would argue that these are just people that are not ready to buy right now. Doesn't mean that they're not ready to buy tomorrow. If you've ever seen if you live in an area where they have law firms advertising, you would know this is true, right? In New York, we got a lawyer. We got a couple law firms, injury law. They're plastered all over the buses, all over the stations, all over the place, TV, you name it, they're everywhere. And they've been everywhere for like 30 years. And guess what? Just because I don't need an injury lawyer today doesn't mean I won't need one tomorrow. God forbid. But with that mentality, it's like, okay, but when you need one, who's going to be the person that you call? It's probably going to be them, as opposed to going on Google and just finding some random company you don't know anything about them, right? You're going to go with them because they're well known, you know about them, they're all over the place. They wouldn't be advertising as much as if they weren't a good company, right? And what they're doing is they're literally going after the 97, 98%, building that brand awareness, and then using that over time. So how do they do that? They just show you a bunch of ads over and over and over again. And we think of this as kind of like a conveyor belt where people are going from not ready to buy to ready to buy over time. And as you start sending people to these ads in a very specific way, we have person number one, right? So we got this guy right here. And let's just say we got 50 people right here, okay? It's hard to draw with a stylus, but let's say they consume the 7 hours of content on 11 touch points on 4 platforms. Well, guess what? When they get over to here to be ready to buy, there's a really nice feature about this, which is you have a bunch of people that are now ready to buy because they've all been on this conveyor belt. And like I mentioned before, with the bidding, because we're bidding on a smaller subset of, actually a larger subset of people, right? We're bidding on the 97, 98%. These views are extremely cheap. So we're able to advertise very cheap for a longer stretch of time, and we're able to get in front of these people. Now, of course, you can increase your budget and speed this process up. But the idea here is that you can get a very low cost with your ads and a very high return on the ads if you're shifting your focus to a longer strategy. So if you guys found this useful, please let me know. Drop a comment down below.